Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. Madam Secretary, welcome. As I indicated in my remarks, I was very pleased to see you sign the Caltrain grant agreement, but will you follow through with the clear direction of Congress and our omnibus appropriation and provide funding for the projects identified in the final joint statement?
The CIGs are really difficult because obviously the president's budget has put a limit on it. Caltrains was a very particular case. I don't need to go into all the details. It was right at the cusp. It had already been signed, and it was a change of administration. But I also am very much aware that CIGs occur over a period of time. Whatever happened in the 2017 budget, we of course will carry out. With the 2018 budget, so far the president's budget is what it is. We will adhere to the will and wishes of Congress as you so desire. And then these are multi-year projects, and I will work with all of you.
Well, we're talking about 2017 money, which you can obligate right now. It does entail in most cases several years going forward, but that's not an unusual program in the federal government.
If it's been, your question is?
Well, you have available right now projects that are qualified for funding, and will you go ahead and fund them, even though you must rely on us next year for the funding to continue them?
Whatever funding you give us, we will distribute for 2017.
It's my understanding that there is funds available, projects available before you that you could fund. Is that accurate? Under the CIG program?
I do not, I don't think so. And maybe I'm mistaken, but I will get you an answer to that. It's whatever you have given to us, it will go out.
Okay. Even though it will require additional appropriations in 2018?
Yes, because you've asked us, you've given us the money, we have to give it out.
Okay.
And then 2018, either the Congress is going to do something, or because our budget is what
No, your budget will be what we
Right.
finally, on a bipartisan basis, vote for.
Right.
I understand that. As we also go forward, let me echo something that Senator Collins brought up, and that's the proposal with respect to Amtrak. As you cut the long-distance routes, ironically, it appears from our analysis that it's going to cost more overall because of loss of passenger revenue, because of having to terminate individual contracts and other provisions. Can you provide us with the cost associated with shutting down the Amtrak's long-distance routes so that we can make a judgment about whether it makes sense economically?
I will certainly do that.
Thank you. Thank you. The other aspect here, too, is one of the issues with respect to the long-distance routes is they contribute in part to the capital expenditures for the Northeast Corridor, and that's something of concern to many of us here on the committee. It appears that there will not be adequate resources for the Northeast Corridor. In fact, we read every day of particularly around New York City, of the problems with the Amtrak service, derailments, et cetera. Are you able to focus additional resources on the capital infrastructure for the Northeast Corridor?
The Northeast Corridor is the only one that has the ability to sustain itself. So there's a great deal of passenger ridership focused on that Northeast Corridor. It's going to have some problems this summer, obviously, because of repairs, problems, maintenance that's required. We're working very closely with Amtrak and also with the local and state authorities in that region. But aside from the president's budget, we will not have what is above that.
Well, one of the issues, and again, it goes to this whole cost-benefit analysis of shutting down long-distance routes, et cetera, is that there's a massive capital investment need for the Northeast Corridor, which is way beyond the capacity of Amtrak in any way, shape, or form alone, just on revenue and fares, et cetera. Bridges, everything, track safety. And that's something that, again, I don't see reflected strenuously enough in the budget, so let me make that comment. If I may, Madam Chair, if I could have unanimous consent to include Senator Leahy's statement in the record.
Without objection.
Thank you, ma'am.